Hello and welcome to another episode of Bourbon and Blood. I'm Danny,
I'm Brian.
and we're here to talk about a zombie movie from
Zombie Guru.
1999. It's called Zombie or Zombie 2.
Or
Or,
zombie flesh eaters.
yes, or just one of Fulci's best because we're still on that Fulci kick. Oh man, talk about a zombie movie. That's what we're
Oh,
about
yeah,
to
it was
do.
good stuff, man.
And Brian, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm drinking. Dr. Pepper and Jack Daniels.
Ooh. So I was
Uh.
drinking some Jim Beam, but I have this special bottle of something called Heaven's Door. Knocking on Heaven's Door, cracking it open right now, taste testing it for everybody. It's 100 proof, so the one drink I had before is going to be amplified. My problem, though, is I forgot to make ice, so this will not be on the rocks. This will just be straight. My arsenic glass. Clink. Smells like a double barrel whiskey.
Does it smell good?
Ooh, that's good. That's dangerously good.
I got a hints of Dr.
Just a
Hints of
hint of
Jack.
Dr. Pepper. Just a little Dr.
Mm.
What? What?
You know what? Next time I have to throw a little bit of Bailey's in that and make it a dirty Dr. Pepper.
Love it. I'll do it too.
Mm.
All right, let's get into this goddamn amazing movie. Like, the premise of the movie, just to get it kicked off, is a girl's looking for her dad who lives on an island, and she goes to search for him with her boyfriend, meets two people at the dock, they go to the island. Boom.
You're so funny. That's not even close.
That's what the movie's about.
It is
Stranger
not-
searches
okay.
stranger searches for her father on an island. Do we watch
Yes,
the same movie?
two strangers get a boat comes in, two strangers jump on it and go to an island.
I mean, there's more to talk about before then. I love that the movie starts. There's no title credit. There's no anything. It just starts with a body wrapped in blankets and ropes, and it's slowly moving up, and then a gun points at its head and blows its brains out. First thing we see. First thing. Just
I thought it was the boat. No, the first thing you see is the boat.
no, the first thing you see is that.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then it cuts
You're
to
right.
the credits of people who worked on the movie. It's wild. What a way to start a movie. Can you imagine back in 79 just going to a movie and that's how you start it?
It'd be neat.
It'd be awfully swell. I love
It'd
a
be
good movie.
swell.
Gunshot to the head right away.
Yeah,
Then we
I'm
cut to
telling
a
you.
boat. A boat is coming into New York, you mateys. It is.
That was very interesting. The boat coming in.
Yeah.
I really liked that. I thought it was like really good. I thought that was pretty cool the way that just kind of floated.
That's
Very
what
like you can
Stu.
see. Well, you can see a lot of like zombie movies taking his trope a little bit. I've seen it in a few movies and I was like, oh, I've seen this before.
What's funny is it's been a while since I've watched this.
Mhm.
And for some reason, I thought, not to ruin anything, but at the end, people get on a boat, not saying who, and they're sailing back. And for some reason, I thought that was the, cut back to the boat coming into New York boat. But it
That
wasn't. It's
would've
not
been
the same
all-
boat.
Shit,
Yeah.
dude, that would have been great.
No, because there's something else that happens on that boat at the end that you're like, oh, okay, it's not the same boat for sure.
Yeah,
But anyways,
just saying, but that would have been pretty fucking.
but there's a sailboat, a schooner, some might call it. I don't know if that's a schooner. I don't know boats. The fuck do you think I am?
It is a sail. It is a schooner.
Yeah.
Who cares?
No, I see that boat people online. I'm fucking
I
great.
did it.
Does that float your boat, bitches? Sorry.
Yeah. Then, but I'll tell you what got me. If this is like still crazy, boat sails listlessly. See, look at me
Ooh,
using my words.
You have a word
man.
a day
Look at
catalog,
me using
don't
my
you?
words.
Listlessly.
Listlessly in New York Harbor. And what do you pass? The Twin Towers.
Back in 1979, they were still there.
I know, but you also see Lady Liberty. I'm like, man, oh man.
America. Back when America was America, even if it's full of
But it was
zombies.
cool though, because I was like, man, the Twin Towers. Every time I see that in a movie, I'm just like, holy shit.
I think it's Spider-Man 2, the original, where you see
Yeah,
it in
right?
his
Yeah.
eye. And you're like, oh, man.
And right,
Oh, shit. So the boat is just heading into shore way too fast.
listlessly. I don't think it was moving too fast. I think it was just listlessly. No, but it wasn't obeying it. It almost got hit by a ferry. And so they're like, we got to call it.
And then the cops show up. Pigs in a boat.
Although that was a translation error because they called them Harbor Patrol,
Yeah.
right? They called them the Coast Guard. And they were
Oh, but they were cops.
they're cops. So I was like, I made a bet. No, I was like,
Wow,
no,
way to
I
fuck
mean,
up in your translations.
But no, I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was crazy though. But when it gets on, right, that big guy, the guys are on, whatever. The older guy goes, "Hey man," because the thing almost hits him, and he's like, "Why don't you go down and check the? Why do you go down?
Why is there so many fucking centipedes in the sink?
Did you catch the centipedes?"
Yep, that's another note I have later too. There's just so many
I was like,
centipedes.
dude, I was gonna say that doctor is a rich motherfucker having a piano in his like
I
sailboat.
know.
And I was like, motherfucker.
But, like, I think they just did it for shock value because so many people hate centipedes. I think they're fine. They don't actually.
That didn't really. No, if they were spiders and shit, I've been like, oh, hell no.
Nah, no, none of that
Nope.
bothered me. But all right, so Big Boy pops out of the shanty.
But it was so crazy. Like this boat rolls in. When I noticed first when you walk in, it's like everything's torn apart.
Yeah, covered in
Like
maggots and
wires hanging.
centipedes.
I mean, dude, say and centipedes, food all over the place. The stench of this might have been disgusting, but I'll talk about this later. But it was like it's so crazy, all the shit hanging out of this fucking. I was like, God damn this, man. This place looked like computer shit.
What? There's something that startled our police officer, the second one that goes down. And he,
Oh, it
like,
was the
knocks.
hand.
Well,
He
something
moved
knocks over the
something,
thing, and then the hand's there. But
which
I
is
don't
a
know
pretty
what.
cool FX.
79, he was ahead of its time with gore.
Yeah.
The gore in this movie is top notch.
You're
Saying it now. The gore. I really
oh, so
also
like
go
so then you're right. So he's in a cabin and it flies open and a big, huge,
muddy.
muddy. Well, he was
He was
ashy,
covered in
really.
mud and blood.
Stood out. And I'm like, dude, there ain't no way that big ass motherfucker would even fit on that boat.
It's so rude. Big boys need boats too. Tommy Bahama shirts go to like 3-4X. Okay.
Oh, come on.
I'm not judging. I'm not a thin man. I'm just saying. I also want to point out, so the zombie goes up on deck and he already, ate the other guy, and then he goes.
It took him, why did it take him 3 minutes to like, come on now, come on now, come on? I'd have been like, dude, he comes out,
That
he
is
gets blood all over his mouth. I'd have been like,
There's a trope in this movie that drives me nuts is anytime someone sees a zombie, they're just like, and they stand there just yelling and they don't move at
yeah,
all.
yeah,
They have
no,
plenty of time to get away.
I think I mentioned that a few times in
Yep.
this. Is like, you can move, right?
Yeah.
But
So the zombie gets shot off the boat and it like pans up to New York City. And the first thing I thought of was like, man, Jason Takes Manhattan should have took cues from this movie.
oh no shit, right?
That's how you get a monster to attack New York.
But when I was figuring about it, I was like, why did he shoot him in the head? I'm like, oh yeah, because zombies weren't even a thing yet.
Yeah, but he shot him in the head, but yet the zombie virus
No,
still
he shot him in the
spread.
chest.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He shot him only in the chest and he fell over the board. So he shot him in the chest, goes over, and it kind of does like a, yeah. So then we show up right to a newsroom.
Yeah, can you explain? So I've watched this movie a few times now, and I think I zone out every time during this part because it's not interesting to me. But like, what is the relationship between these two, and what's going on
Okay,
in this newsroom?
so oh no, so it's big news that this
Boat.
sailboat or schooner ends up in New York, I guess. It's a big news. It's big news.
I wish this scooter would have got here sooner.
I know. So
Sorry.
the press guy's
Boat
like,
jokes.
so
I
the-
hope they float.
I know. I deserve a drink for that.
Yep, to the whiskey.
So what happens is this guy, Peter West, he's a reporter that his dad owns and stuff. So I think it's mostly just to set up that that a paper was interested and had to write an article about why this came in and why a guy killed an officer.
Yeah.
Listen
Yeah.
here, see.
And then the girl who's like, I can't find my dad. I got a letter.
Oh my lord. I gotta say, okay. So
She's the most unrememberable main character ever.
except she stares a lot.
Well, yeah, everyone stares in this movie. Fulci's got a thing about eyes, as we'll get into later.
No shit. There's so many good
Oh, yeah.
eye scenes, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Well,
I didn't
remember
really
House
pay
by the
attention to them.
Cemetery? All the eyes, the close up of the eyes, everything had to do with
I know
eyes.
I'll be honest. It took a few beers to really. That's also why I've been drinking Pabst tonight. So
What's the name of
so they go to the boat, right? So we get the boat, and what really threw me was that they had her in the boat and her just standing there, and I'm like, wait a minute. So you have this woman where an officer died on a literally on your dad. It's her. You find out it's her dad's boat, but the boat either's been cleaned up or she's in an active crime scene. Just saying. I'm like, what the?
Trauma will do that.
Okay.
She's just going with the flow of the ocean.
Yeah, but yeah, that was an interesting one. Like, who should do this? Who did this? Who did that? I don't know.
So they meet another couple who are on vacation.
What happens is she doesn't know the answer. They know that it's on the boat, right? And they've cleaned it up apparently because you go in and the thing's absolutely immaculate. And so later that night, Peter has been like stalking her, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I've been looking at you all day." She comes down in, which I'm really amazed that she can see in the dark. Both of them.
Yeah.
Not even with a pen light, which they did have in 1979.
I looked it up.
And they're like, "Who are you?" And read a note. The note's like, "Hey, daughter, blah, blah, blah."
The note that Dr. Menard talks about later. I was confused by
Yeah,
that.
but
I keep forgetting about this scene in the movie.
Oh, yeah, but they wrote it right. And then here's the thing that gets me. This cop is sitting out that they passed a super hearing because they knock over a lamp. And he's like, "What was that? I hear something."
I'm on it. I'm on the case.
And so he goes in, and of course, Wes like, "What do I need to do?" He goes, "I'm going to do what I want to do all day." And he jumps on her, making out on a bed that had maggots on it, like, or centipedes.
Centipedes, maggots, spiders, all of them. It's a bed of flies instead of bed of
I'm
lies.
just saying that the boat got cleaned up real good, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what really, because I was like, my note was, man, that would have smelled like so bad. It would have smelled so bad. I've been like, oh shit.
I think it cuts to the island before they meet the other two. Don't we get a little doctor?
Well, it does a flight. It does because just saw it again, but it does like a flying in, them landing, getting in a cab, and them having their little, their little banter. Like, what should we do? Should we check in a hotel or should we go right to the boat? And her name is, by the way, her name is Ann Bowles.
Ann Bowles.
And Ann Bowles.
That's an unfortunate name.
She bowls. Maybe she's good, man.
Ann bowls or doesn't bowl?
She only bowls 27. So they get in with a taxi driver who apparently has all the information on the island.
Yeah.
And this is what the first time I watched it, I didn't get was he goes, "Hey, do you know anybody going to this particular island, whatever?" And he goes, he goes, "I don't know anything." And he goes, "I got money." He goes, "Oh, all of a sudden I know something." But when he does it, he tells them, "Oh, this American couple is out on a boat and they're going out." And I was like, "Oh, are they guides?" At first, like, because they're talking about going out and like sightseeing. And I was like, no, but it turns out they're just a couple
On
who are just,
vacation.
"Hey man, we're just here in town doing
We just
our
want to do some
thing."
naked scuba diving. You want to join?
Hells yeah.
Come on the boat. So they do have this conversation with them, convincing them, let's go to the island. Did I skip something?
Well, that's the thing, right? He has a little conversation like, "Hey, guess what? Want to get to the island?" The guy's like, "Okay, really?"
I heard it's cursed.
He goes, "Yeah, but you're here. Look, I'm here. You're here. I guess we just want to see where this island is." He goes, "There's
just
bad
do it."
juju." Well, no, because he's like, because for a couple that seems to be hanging out there, they're like, "Yeah, this got like it's a piece of land that's cursed,
Yeah.
right?" He goes, "Oh, it's cursed or something." And he goes like, "I don't care. Take me to the island." But she explains, "Hey, my father died. I need to go see my daddy. I need to go find my daddy.
I know we're skipping over scenes where they're talking on the island, and we'll get back to those in a minute. But so it cuts back to the island, and I'm not going to go on what's going on there. But when it cuts back to them, they've secured the boat, right? They're all about to go on this trip, and it fucking plays the most ridiculous samba Wii music I've ever heard as they're like drifting away from port. Like when Brie was watching it with me, she's this is the happiest music ever. And throughout the movie, actually, there's some pretty inappropriate happy music and times that should not be happy.
But I feel like though,
no, it's like Animal
that
Crossing
I feel like
music.
he was trying to set the thing like, "Oh, this can't be so bad." Maybe
it's just a nice trip out to an island. So they're on the high seas, and when you're on the high seas, ship happens. Ship as in, they decide they want to go scuba diving, or she does, because they're close to an island.
Yeah, I said basically like this whole scene's really fucking weird.
Up to that, or when she jumps in?
The whole thing, right? So,
oh yeah.
Well, no, because like this, he goes, "Yeah, man, like I don't know where this fucking place is. It's not on the map." He goes, "Yeah," and then of course, guys like his name was Brian.
Yes.
It's Brian and Susan is
Yep.
this, right? So Brian's like, "Hey, there's a lot of islands that haven't been, like, found yet." And then, of course, Susan's like, "Hey, I wanna go take some pictures." And, of course, she goes, "That's okay." Brian's like, "Okay." And, of course, she starts, like, disrobing and shit, and fucking Peter's just like, "Grrr," those big fucking wolf
Yeah.
eyes.
His
He's,
tongue
like,
sticking out of his
gawking like a
mouth.
motherfucker.
Aruga. Okay, but like,
Guy, of course,
I've never
like,
scuba
and
dived,
and who
but
isn't they have Anne and him haven't even screwed. She
yeah.
gives him the look like, "What, motherfucker?" Right?
So,
She gives him the jealous look. I'm like,
well, she's into him
"Seriously,
after the
like, I'm
makeout
a
session on the
reporter,
boat.
you're a daughter."
He was feeling naughty today. That's a sea joke, nautical. Anyways,
Oh, that
so
was good.
I've never scuba dived, but those straps all over your naked body that you clamp on and make tight because you have an air tank attached to you that's heavy,
Mm.
probably not
Oh,
very
yeah.
comfortable.
Tight. Um, but
Shibari shit over here in the ocean.
them boobs look good. Those boobs look good. But here, you're right. And I was just thinking, like, she was so burnt. Like, this filming, like, she was out there
Oh,
without, like, the back in the day, they used Crisco instead baby oil instead of
oh yeah.
suntan.
So she
So
hops in the
literally,
water.
like, and I said, "Dan, Peter, you gawker." Like,
All right, she jumps in the
that was good
water. You
shit.
ready for
But she's
this?
down there taking pictures,
Yeah, she's enjoying the
and
coral
all of a
reef
sudden,
and a
a
shark.
shark shows up. A big shark.
I just want to say I had to like in depthly look into how they did this whole scene because that's a real shark and she's
But a
just
shark
swimming.
but here's the thing, it was probably a real shark, but it wasn't a real shark that hit the boat.
No, but that's the only scene you don't see a shark doing anything. You
No,
see a
you just
shark.
saw a fin and kinda hit it or
Yeah,
whatever,
so the
right?
shark is in the water and stalking her and she's
Or they
freaking out.
probably no, I tell you what they probably did. They probably fed that shark, or
They did, and they gave it drugs.
mhm.
I looked
Yeah,
it up.
that's what I thought. I was like, "There's no way." They probably fed it and they gave it drugs, which didn't not enough
It was
to
a
make it go to sleep and be listless because they gotta keep moving, but
it
enough
was
to be like, "Hey, buddy.
it
Hey,
was a
buddy."
live nurse shark that they just
And they're pretty
gave.
harmless, by the way.
Yeah,
Nurse
I mean,
sharks are
it's
pretty
still a
harmless.
predator, but they didn't have the
You're a
funds,
predator.
obviously. Oh, wow, that's fucked up. They didn't have the funds to make an animatronic shark.
You're like,
So,
"Damn, motherfucker.
she gets away while she's underwater for a second, and
My
she bumps into a new buddy, a
my lord."
zombie, an
She's hiding.
underwater zombie.
Then yeah, Susan is accosted by a fucking zombie, man. And,
And
of course, the
again,
zombie's like, man, he saw him like, and he's like, "Hells yeah." Listen,
he's getting
everybody out
handsy.
there, no means no. No means no.
If you're a zombie, I don't think no means no.
It
You're
does.
you're dead already, and you're just have your instincts.
It means no. So the real hero of this story right now is the shark.
Yeah.
Although, so when but Joe, she first comes up, "Oh, a shark," and then he shoots at it, and the shark hits the side of the boat, which I will talk about later. Makes no damn sense.
I
But
know.
she goes back down, is caustic, and then she like takes like a fan of like
The coral reef.
rubs it in his face.
Wait, wait, wait. I think I had a joke. Boobs. Nope. Hold on.
Yeah, no,
Coral
but
to the
no
face.
joke, huh?
Like a cheese grater. Yeah, it was like a cheese grater to the face. But so the
God.
actor they got to do that was Ramon Bravo, who portrayed the zombie
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
underwater, and he actually battled this shark. And I mean, special effects wise, that ripped off his arm, and he was
Mhm.
wrestling with the shark underwater. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that is dedication to the movie.
Well, first, nurse sharks aren't they are not they're a predator, but they're very, like, docile. They're pretty docile. So, for him to be wrestling, if he rubbed on a shark the wrong way,
I mean, they were
right?
all over each
Because if
other,
you
so that worries me.
well, no, but that's it, right? Because that would have been the hard part, because if you have a shark and you go one way, right, like on their south, down their body, it's okay, but they're if you go the other way, it'll, like, tear your skin.
Kind of like a cat.
Kind of, yeah.
You can go
Their
one
tongue, it's like
way,
a cat tongue.
but if you go the other way, a cat will
But,
get
I'll
pissed
tell you
off.
though, no, I thought was really great on that, and I think I wrote that, the FX though, of him putting his arm in the shark's mouth And then,
And then
of course,
ripping
it
it
was
away.
great that he pulled it out, that he was able to pull it, and it looked like he tore it off. It was really, I thought that
Yeah.
was pretty amazing.
Right?
The green blood was pretty damn cool makeup. Yeah.
So she gets back up on the boat. And what happened to the boat, Brian?
The boat has to like,
Oh.
oh no, it's damaged because a shark hit the side of it. And they're like, we need to go to the island. And a bird, they shoot like a flare into the sky. That's it.
Yeah. Let's
That's
cut
it.
to the island and what was happening. Rich guy.
Yeah. But so Menard, these are like intermit. The way these were cut in the movie, though, they're cut. So we're just going full to full. Anyway, so yeah,
Yes.
he goes. He's talking to his wife, Pola, Peo. I don't know how to pronounce Paola. And she's basically like, hey man, I want off this fucking island. He's like, no.
I've got to find the
everything's
cure and the
okay."
reason.
And she's like,
Yeah,
you're
he's
crazy. I'm gonna tell everybody in the world about what the hell you're doing here. And he's like, oh. Man, what a smart girl. Well, in the end she
well,
wasn't. But
no.
she had a bad vibe about that place. And the doctor did not listen. Menard is like, look at my Menards. Why are you looking at my Menards?
I like how we get, I thought who was going to be the hero of the movie as Menard's leaving after their little confrontation talk, him and his wife.
Yeah.
He goes to Miguel, the house or the gardener. He's like, Miguel, I need you
Hey,
to watch
Miguel.
her, protect her. And then Miguel's like, got it. I'm on it. It's just,
I
you
got
never
it.
see Miguel again though. So he didn't make it.
Well, no, because McGee goes, I need you to protect her. And then, of course, he he has a protector, a guy who's so like, we don't want to jump before because we got a lot happening before
Yeah. We don't want to jump into
Paola
what
gets
happens
her
at the
business.
house. Yeah.
The doctor understands. He goes, well, it's not a curse. It's not a curse. But yet he's shooting him in the head. So apparently he's starting to believe or some shit. He's burying
Well,
a
he
body.
even says it
The nurse
later.
knows that you have. I know, but mark my words right now. The nurse knows you got to shoot the zombies in the brain, right? We know this.
Yeah.
So anyway, they're burying bodies and they look over to the left and you see the flare.
Yeah.
Right.
And
So that's
before
how
that,
kinda
it was
intermingles.
just Menard talking to the nurse and the help and just like, I don't understand. And all these people just keep dying and he keeps shooting people in the head who are wrapped in blankets. But yeah.
But it's so
So they
funny
see
that
the
he
flare.
knows. Like
He doesn't want to admit.
every time you say Menards, it just makes me laugh.
Save big money at Menards. His name is
His brother used to, in high school, would have a bag from the Lowe's, Menards. And somebody would look over at him and he'd say, why are you looking at my Menards? Why are you looking at Menards? Why are you looking at Menards? Why are you looking at Menards?
Menards. Okay.
And this, my friends, is this is a Gen X joke because Nards
Yeah,
are
it is.
another, just letting you know.
Nards
It's
are
another
word for
your
balls.
nuts.
Yes. All right. Can we talk about the house scene? I'm going to describe that the girl, Paleo, whatever her name is taking a shower. And you know she's not happy living on this island, but she is the most distraught shower ever. And yes, she's naked. And you see the front, and then there's a mirror behind her so you can see her butt. So the cinematography really knew what it was doing, but she looks really sad and very angry and scared at the same time. She's not having a good shower. Not at all.
Look, everybody
So-
out there. Now I've introduced Journeyman.
Switching up the whiskeys. That face didn't look very excited.
Look at this. This is called a Danny pour.
I do pour strong.
My
So while you were
God,
gone,
do
all I did
you?
was describe how distraught Paleo looked when she was showering and how the mirror was perfect so you could see her butt and
Holy
her front.
moly, you did? My notes were that zombie was after that guy who was supposed to protect her. I was like, that dude was so easily distracted.
Yeah.
He was like, what? What's that?
So,
and the
as much
zombie's
as
like, and
they make
zombie was
noise.
such a pervert.
So I also want to point out how impressive, again, the cinematography is in this movie.
Oh my
'Cause
God,
there's-
yeah.
She heard a noise and the camera shifts like it's on a rail to where she's looking and then
Yeah.
it shifts back and it just looks really good for 1979. Really impressive camera. Oh, she's hearing noises. And I thought this part was interesting because you don't see the zombie, but she keeps hearing it and freaking out.
Mhm.
And then she runs behind a door and the zombie starts pushing on the other side of the door and you don't know it's even there until the hands come through, the fingers. But like neither of these people, either the zombie or her, seem to be concerned or trying very hard to keep each other in or out. It's like,
Well, because she was
no.
like, I need a man.
No.
I need a man because he was looking at her. I'm still I don't
Could be.
I thought what was really good about that, you're right. Like, all of a sudden, you're like, "Why can't you push harder?" But she pushes hard enough to chop those fingers off,
Yeah, yeah. She
which
doesn't
looked
look
that
like
I
she's
was like,
pushing
"That
hard.
looked really cool." Yeah, that looked really cool.
And then she starts moving a cabinet against the door, as you do, to block a door. And it kept
Not trying
cutting
to
to.
leave the room.
No. But it kept cutting to her. She has very pretty eyes, and it kept cutting to her eyes.
Oh my gosh, I did
And anyone that knows Fulci knew exactly what was coming soon.
my gosh, but, like, I even wrote that down. Like, her eyes were the most intense green.
I know, they were
Right.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Is
I
that-
was just like well, because when I was watching it before, I watched it sober, and, I have a different view of things when I'm drunk.
What?
What?
I don't believe that.
Boobies, eyes?
Yeah, he doesn't talk like this if he's
But
sober.
I do. Well,
I know, I was kidding.
I would, but I wouldn't
I
do it with such
would?
enthusiasm. I wouldn't do it with such enthusiasm. That's what but I'll tell you, you were right. Like, his view like, that is his signature move. Anyway, go ahead.
So a hand bursts through the door, and there's shards of wood sticking out, and you see him grab the back of her head, and it pulled, and it's so slow and so dramatic, and you keep getting shots and shots closer and closer of her eye next to this pointy piece of wood.
That
and you're
is
like, that is cinema.
But it was a great shot.
Yeah, and then you see it
Like,
finally
I gotta
pierce
say, this
the
is one
eye.
of the my favorite shots in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, he pulls her eye on it and just like, and just but when it pulls back, they do a great job on the makeup. Like, it
Yeah.
right? Like, it's like, yes,
Her
you
eyes,
have
like-
it going in, which is probably a dummy, no doubt, but then she pulls it back, and they did such a great job on the makeup that you're like,
Well,
"Holy shit!"
when she
did get
pulls it
stabbed in the
out, she's like turning her head as she's pulling out, and you can see like part of her eye and the side of her face get peeled
Yeah.
out, and it looks so gooey, like
Do
nasty.
that. I mean, that's what I guess this one is what? It was rated gore fest or X or whatever because
Probably.
it was so, like, it looked real.
Yeah, it looked.
Compared to the movie before we watched of his, this movie
You quit
is
talking shit
awesome.
about The House by the Cemetery, man. I swear to God, we'll drive to
Fuck that
Texas and
movie.
deck ya. I love that movie.
Really? Well, I'm waiting, motherfucker. I'll talk.
Let's cut back to the beach where one of the doctors is dead, and our Dr. Menard is just like drunkenly laying by the beach, and he's so distraught that he didn't do anything. I'm like, you are looking like the laziest man in the world right now. He's literally
he's just like,
he's disheveled.
yeah,
he's
like,
laying
I
by
don't
the
want to
water.
give up, but I want to give up. Yeah, he's dumb.
Looks like you gave up, Doc. Looks like you gave up hard. But anyways, so our 4 survivors get on the island. Survivors of a shark
Well, that's how that
zombie
goes.
boat
Oh,
attack.
look, there's a flare. But here's the thing. I guess that shark damaged the boat.
Yeah, two
And they go,
damage.
we got to get it fixed before we go back to the other island,
Yeah.
right? We need to fix it.
It won't work.
Need to fix it. Need to get that shit done.
Can't
All right.
drive this boat.
Besides, bring
We
that
need a
up
bigger
right now.
boat.
That's for
Yeah.
later.
Yeah, for later. I know what you're talking about. So
When you go into the town, but I do have a question. Was Dr. Fritz, did he shoot Dr. Fritz in the head or no?
yes, well, Dr. Fritz got sick, and then he took him
Yeah,
to
I know that.
and then eventually
All
he
right.
wrapped him up and shot him in the head. He meets the 4 survivors. He keeps talking about voodoo. He talks about the note. So I do like that about this movie. It's supposed to be more voodoo related zombies and not just infection zombies, even though if you get bit, you're a zombie.
See, I like that. I love that. I really love that part about it. But what I didn't understand is if it was a curse, right? It's a curse. I keep looking
Yeah.
over at you. But if it's a curse, how is a curse transferred through a bite?
See, yeah,
That's
that
what I'm-
doesn't-
it's like, so it's a vampire. It's a, yeah, that,
Not to
that
jump
is the
ahead
only
too
thing
much.
on that really kind of,
Yeah. So
I mean, you're
we
not
get
supposed
this-
to think about it that much. I get that.
you get this long backstory from someone about like the Spanish conquistadors brought over like the Christianity, and the African slaves came over and brought their religious beliefs, and then voodoo was born here, and then voodoo is in the soil, and you find that later when they start popping out of graves, because that shouldn't happen unless because they're already dead.
Well,
as
yeah,
zombies.
but to me though, is this a bite doesn't designate you get sick and turn into a zombie.
But everyone that got
right?
bit
You
turned into a
right?
zombie.
Where I'm just saying they shouldn't.
I know.
The
So I
curse
don't
should,
know.
the curse should be on the island.
I don't know what road they were taking because it got off the island, and also people got bit and they became zombies out of nowhere. So is
I
it
don't know, I just
voodoo
think it's nuts.
or is it Romero zombie style? Who knows? It's still fun.
It's Satan. I don't know. Well,
But
no,
they
that's what I'm
get
saying.
to
So I would have loved to have a little bit more like for me. Now, granted, it was 1979, and he's taking the curse and he's doing his thing. I'm looking at it from
yeah.
a perspective of all the zombie movies we've watched and whatever. So I just would have loved the more typical curse where you get bit, you can recover from a bite, but I get if you die, the curse would get you because you're on that island. I get that part. That's all. Yeah, it's okay.
But we'll get into that more later. So they get to the hospital slash church. I don't know. There's big crosses all over it. However, that's where all the bodies are. They get there and he's like, this is something we're doing. He's like, hey, can you go check on my wife? 4 strangers. I'm going to go into the hospital.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was getting at. Like, they're 4 strangers and you
Oh,
want them to
okay.
go visit your wife up at your house? You don't know any
Well,
4
because
of
they're
these
like, hey,
people.
we need you to fix our boat. No, you know what it
Yeah.
was? I think that was the best part of this movie a little bit. It's reality. Hey, our boat's fucked up. We need to get it fixed. Hey, I'll fix your shit. Go get my wife.
Yeah.
It's like,
So he
trade
gives
action,
them
motherfucker.
his
It's like,
Jeep.
okay.
Again, I would not give 4 strangers
That's a
my
good
Jeep
Jeep,
either.
man.
I know. And he's like, go
That's
check
a
out my
damn good
wife.
Jeep.
So they drive up to the house.
did.
And what do they find? A feast, a zombie party. It's a zombie
Zombie
party.
party.
Who could ask for more? But so they walk in
That
and
was,
there's
yeah.
4 zombies just like munching down on guts and stuff and look up at them like, what? This is our town.
What, man? Why are you interrupting us, motherfucker?
You mentioned earlier the town. I thought this was really interesting, and if you didn't notice, like you might have your second time through, it keeps showing shots of this one street in the town throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And the first time you see it, you just see like a kid walking and a dog. The second time you see a lady, and then another time you see just a single zombie walking through an empty street. And then towards the end of the
Yeah.
movie, when shit's getting crazy, the streets are just full of zombies. But it's beautiful because it's one
Yeah.
shot of the streets that it keeps cutting to, and it shows
Yep.
it shows the degrading of what's happening and how crazy it's getting.
I really love the zombie makeup on some of those. Right. But I did make a note because I thought it was a very realistic when it was like eating your liver. They pulled it out and they're picking parts off the body. And it looked real realistic when they were eating it. I thought, wow.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that's a good, I mean, it was a good special touch on that situation.
When they're in the Jeep talking to Dr. Menard or whatever, he's giving him the backstory of what happened to her father. And her father looks like Dr. Robotnik and insane, like a mad scientist, crazy hair, and he's dying in the bed.
Yeah.
And just, that's when you get more
Yeah.
exposition or whatever. Exposition.
You
Yeah.
for my letter.
Make sure she gets my letter. And then he gets shot in the head.
Who'd she give the letter to?
I don't know. She got the letter. She gave the letter to someone. Someone got the letter in a boat. Boat made it to New
A
York.
big fat motherfucker. Dude, look, that guy was so big, he would have ate all the food.
He might have been a scientist on food, a food scientist.
Just clarify, I'm not making fun of fat people. Look, all I'm saying is the scene rolls out. It's a very cramped space.
No, you're making fun.
And
It's
I
rude.
just feel like
my
I'm just saying-
nonsense. It's your nonsense.
That's true.
We're all nonsense.
Forgive me.
Forgive me.
Forgive me, peoples. Forgive me, peoples.
Oh, they escape the house
We're in the
pretty
house.
quick.
We're in the house. And
Yeah.
Peter, right?
Yeah.
They're all like, oh, shit. And
Yeah.
so Peter picks up, apparently,
peppers.
Menard was an avid hunter and he
Oh.
collected African objects like spears and shit. Literally has a gazelle horns. And instead of stabbing, he hits. What?
Yeah.
And I was like, you have spears on the wall, dude.
Yeah, you
Spear
use
these
hammers to
motherfuckers,
stab.
Right? No. Let me just hit and run. Dumb.
Yeah.
I get
So they
it's a
run.
movie. I'm just saying. Matter of
They-
fact, I would just lit him on fire. But what do I know?
Well, they do that later.
But he's in a Land Rover, right? Brian, look, trust me, all Brians don't drive like shit like this guy. He's driving. Hey, everybody. There's a zombie in front of him. Instead of just being like, yeah, hits a zombie, whoosh off in the road. Like, dude, the zombie ate an elephant.
He also
Like, he was standing there.
he looks
People
at
have hit-
things and he just assumes it's done for. Like, I'm assuming the boat situation because he
Yeah,
opens the
pretty
hood
much.
and he's like, transmission's fucked. You looked at it for 5 seconds, man. This boat
It's
doesn't work.
fucked. Yeah.
This Jeep doesn't work anymore.
Because literally this dude hits him and veers off the road, crashes through a bunch of shit, and Peter breaks his ankle.
It's pretty gory.
At this point,
On
I was like,
what?
okay, this is unrealistic.
And
That would have
then
ran over everybody.
they stumble out and they all
Oh, yeah.
collapse in different areas, decide to make out.
But when
What?
I rewatched it, they get out, and Peter's like, "Oh, my ankle!" And they have to fucking carry him on his shoulder, like, "Here, bud, let's carry you," you know? Like, I'd have been like, "Dude, I'm leaving your ass. Jesus, you fucking broken ass ankle." But they go by a beach, and I'm like, "Why don't you just follow the beach, right? At least if you go by the beach, you have
Follow the
hope, you can
water.
see shit." No, they decide to go into the jungle. Well, then
Yep.
they happen upon an ancient Spanish graveyard.
Conquistador helmets and all. I thought we were going to get
And
more
my favorite part, I gotta
history.
tell you, yeah, I wish it would have had like, dude, that would have been the best part if they would have had like a note on one of the two. Um, but what really made me laugh about this whole scene was Peter, has literally been trying to get his hands on Anne the entire time.
Yep.
So Susan goes, "We're gonna go check ahead and see what the fuck we can do." And of course, Peter's like, "Oh yeah, my ankle, baby, my ankle. Oh." And they lay down. And of course, Peter's like, "Hey, time to make a move, baby." What? And then she puts her hand on a skull. It's like, geez, ow, man. That was.
Well,
But
zombie
that's where
hand,
his
like,
ankle gets all fucked up worse.
again, though, like, these zombies are dead conquistadors from a long time ago. They should be way more decomposed. And why are they popping up now? Is this voodoo then? Is someone just trying to murder everyone? Because a hand pops out of a grave and grabs
that's what
her
it feels
hair,
like.
and another hand pops
That's
up
what
and
I felt
grabs
like
his
at the end,
messed up
though.
ankle. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but that zombie really fucked him up at that point. He like almost
Yeah.
turned. That I really did like though, because it was just like sprained at one point, and then after this, it was like that zombie like tore that shit. Like, I'm tearing.
I want that whole leg.
But he never got bit. He
No.
never got bit. He was basically like, "Let me tear your
Unlike
shit off."
the other girl, the naked
Oh my
scuba diver.
gosh, man! Once again, Susan just stood like.
She stands there and she doesn't even scream. She just like gawks, like, ah. But
I know.
this is the only gore that I thought was not done well. So the zombie goes
No,
down and bites.
I thought it was pretty good.
Hold on. He bites her
Okay.
neck, and when he pulls away, it looks all wet and slimy. And I'm like, I don't know if that would be
I
as
wrote
slimy.
that down, though. I wrote that. Yeah, I said I thought it looked great because torn, thrown out. It looked like the
okay.
bone pouring blood out, and then of course, like the mushy brain. But the hyoid, when it tore the neck, was at the hyoid bone there. I was like, holy shit, that looked pretty good.
Someone took
So
an
now it
anatomy
makes you look
class.
different. Well, yeah, I used to be a biology major, of course. I wanted to dissect human beings at one point in my life.
So she'd be dead. And the boyfriend's super sad. I mean, obviously, that was unlike the other two. He had known her for a long time, and they were a couple, but he was super distraught. And then they were like, "No, Brian, we gotta move. We gotta move."
If you saw her swimming, you'd be very distraught as well.
That's true. So they run and they get back to the hospital/church. The
Oh my
final
God.
showdown.
Because it's. No, my favorite, though, was Peter rolls in. He's like, "Oh my God, you were correct. What the fuck is that?" I was like, man, it was like all of a sudden it was like, what kind of crazy shit's happening?
So the nurses, the doctor, the 4 or 3 now are making Molotov cocktails.
Yes.
But the room.
They get back to the hospital. That's when Menard goes, "I believe in voodoo." Right? Because, of course, you got to now. Because everybody's fucking rising from the dead, motherfucker. But then he goes off and goes, "How you going to do this?" And everybody's shooting, taking care of each other. And I thought this was interesting, though. I thought that the doctor was a little bit of a bitch.
Yeah.
Because he gets bit in his face and he dies.
I know. He never got to find the cure or
How?
the reason. Just
I'm
questions
just
never
saying,
answered.
Because Brian gets bit and he fucking leaves apparently for weeks or some shit.
I mean,
Your face torn off wouldn't be painful, but it wouldn't kill you. It would just be a very,
uncomfortable situation.
unpleasant experience. But I did make a good point here, is that if you notice this whole thing, so they have these dead bodies, all of a sudden they start rising.
Or it's the 2
The
nurses.
nurse!
And
What?
one of the other nurses pops up and bites the one dude in the arm, and he's dead.
No, but that's
then-
right?
And then he raises,
But
and
the
then the other
nurse-
nurse is just standing there like,
But the nurse should have known. The nurse should have known. But so Brian is like, hears it. No, he's like, "Oh yeah, coming through the window." clack, 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 clack. Goes over to her, which is a good scene because she ain't wearing no bra. You can see through her shirt. Boom. Love it. So it's my favorite. You look, I like this director because he gave me a lot of boob shots. But here's what annoyed me. This woman knows you gotta do the boom,
Yeah.
shot to the dome, shot to the dome. What? Brian shoots him in the chest instead of her going, whoa, 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 whoa. Get back here, brother. I need you to double tap these motherfuckers like in Zombie Land.
Yeah.
No.
Which was not out yet.
And then zombies go, and they kill her. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. That I felt was annoying because it was like, I feel probably the budget might have been like really coming towards a tight. Let's get this shit done because
I
like
do feel like they rushed everything towards the end.
that at the end, right? I would say it would have been different if it wasn't her.
Yeah.
If they would have like killed the nurse, saved Susan, and Susan was that position. That would have been a different thing. Like, you gotta help out. That would have made more sense that they don't know that you gotta hit a double, shot to the dome.
Yeah.
Instead, the nurse goes, okay, here's my boobs. Boom, she dies.
You could tell, I feel like they were running out of budget because the three
Mhm.
escape and they're standing outside the hospital and there's just like a small explosion on the ceiling and they all look over it like it's the biggest thing in the world and it like very stays on it for way
Yeah.
too long. We've seen
Because they're
bigger
using
explosions
Molotov
earlier.
cocktails on this shit at this point. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
My thing is, you don't even have to use Molotov cocktails. Because to me, if they would have just had some sort of like poles, they literally could just went, get out of the fuck out of my way, get the fuck out of my way, and just pushed them out of your way and got to your boat.
You know what would stop that though, Brian? Is if your hot scuba diving girlfriend stood up in front of you as a zombie.
Hell no, dude. I would have fucking.
Remember? So they escape and Brian's standing there and
No,
his
here's the thing
girlfriend
though.
pops
If
up.
she didn't have a shirt on, if she didn't have a shirt on,
That's the only way you die is if she was topless.
Wow, dude, I would have been like,
Susan, I haven't seen you two in a while.
Yeah, but instead I've been like, I was like, you died last week. Boom.
So unfortunately, Brian gets bit just before they get to this boat that doesn't work.
Well, not this time because I've been like, I would have had a pole and gone, I'll see you next week. Get out of my way.
Bye, baby. So they get on the boat. I thought this boat didn't work, Brian.
So this
I was waiting for you to get into it.
How the fuck did they have? Okay, the boat's damaged. Like they need it fixed. How is this boat even working? And I'll tell you, the smartest person in this movie, and
Yeah.
they got this boat. Brian's all like, they know he's gonna turn. Anne's like, let's get rid of this motherfucker. She cold, but I was like,
yeah, but she just locks him in a room down there.
well, no, but she's like, we need to get rid of him.
Yeah, she does say it.
Well, no, because Peter's like, no, man, we need him.
Oh, yeah.
Need him.
Because we need proof because no one's going to believe us.
To proof it. Like, she was like, fuck the proof, man. Let's just fucking throw his ass on board. I was like, you know what, Ann? You win. You're the hero of this whole thing.
They're floating out. They're doing their sea life thing. And then they turn on the radio. And what is happening in New York City?
That boat would not make it to New York, right? First of all, that boat would have made it back to the island that they were at before. But they made it sound like, oh, let's go to the fucking New York. Dude, no. That was just that was a pleasure boat. If the sailboat, if they would have had the sailboat, but they hear it, hey, New York's been overrun by zombies. Right. Okay. So it's not a curse. It's a virus.
Zombie
apparently
infection.
now. But here's what got me. They showed the zombies on, what is that? The Queensboro Bridge?
Yeah.
Like,
a bunch
I don't
of
know
them.
what bridge that is.
One of those.
Yeah.
bridges.
Yeah. My thing is this. They should have cut at an angle. So you would have seen cars leaving New York, not going into New York.
I feel like their budget just called for, hey, let's dress up a bunch of zombies and have them walk across.
I know,
the
but I
bridge.
noticed that shit. I know what I mean. I was like, why are people going in New York when they should be leaving New York?
So that's the end of the movie. It's very sad because there's no hope. Zombies have taken over.
But I'll say this, all in all, this movie is so much better than
It's so
House
much
by
fun.
the Cemetery.
Stop it. It's just a good movie too.
It is not.
This is such a fun movie
This
though.
movie was
The
actually
zombie.
good. I'll tell you. I was really surprised. I expected to watch this movie and be very, very disappointed.
No.
Not even disappointed, but I was like, yeah. But I was really surprised. This is a damn good. I know it took us to get it done, but it's a damn good zombie movie. Like, I'll admit it, like, I've seen it. I have literally seen it, advertised, right? You see it, on, like, whatever, like,
You see the cover.
because they always give the thing on this one. It was rated this and that, and it was banned in other countries, and I'm like, no. But honestly, that is a
It's
just for
fun.
service for this movie because I feel like it was really thought out. I mean, in parts. I'm not saying did they get lazy in some parts, but I felt like the gore, I felt like the FX in this, they, for 79 did a really good job. I just felt like it was a really good movie. Like, I don't feel like the stories you hear about this movie encapsulate watching it. It's really fun. It's a
Yeah,
fun movie, and it's a very 1979, like, like, you get this feel like, "Yeah, man," like,
but
it's just really good. Like,
you're getting so much cutting edge
go ahead.
filmmaking in a 1979 movie too. Like the shark battle underwaters,
Oh
no
my
one was
god,
doing anything
yeah,
like that.
dude.
Or the eye scene was
Yeah.
just done so perfectly.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he really hit, I think, with this one. Just I think this was so good. Like, it's hard to follow up if that movie we watched before was his second one, but this one just is so good. I doubted you. I ain't gonna lie. Doubted you.
Shouldn't doubt me. I feel like if you went back and watched House by the Cemetery, you'd enjoy it. Maybe. Well,
Nah, dude, I hate that movie. Well, I'll tell you what. Here's the thing. I think if I feel like that movie was we could do, like, a whole recap on that, but I just feel like I feel like he was trying to be too much director in that. He's trying to be like, "Oh, this and that, and the angles." Whereas this, he was being very simple, like you made a good point, like, kinda simple, right? Like, the town, where he shoots that same scene, like, he probably had, like, little mark on the ground, right? Or he goes, "Hey, look, let's do that." He did probably shot that scene in like, different takes. He had the camera there, he goes, "Look, this is what I want. This is what I want. This is what I want." Like, that's the best part about filming. You can go, "I want it before and end, like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Kid, zombie, 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 zombie," right? But he thought about it, like, very meticulous on how angles were and how they interacted, whereas I felt like that other movie just did not have that s it didn't really go, "It didn't get me like this."
okay, okay.
But I
All right.
love
Well,
this one, man.
thanks for listening to an episode of Bourbon and Blood. I'll have Brian pick the next movie.
Hell yeah, man. We appreciate every one of you who's
Yeah,
in.
and Brian
We
designed
love
an
you.
awesome new logo for
Oh,
us to get
yeah.
ready for some new merch, shirts, and stick. All right, thank you, and we'll be back very soon. Bye.
Bye.